Michael first met Debbie Rowe in the early 1980s when he went to his dermatologist to complain of a skin condition. Panicked because of the emergence of mysterious blotches, he was certain he had a deadly skin cancer. H. Johnson, who worked as an assistant for Joseph Jackson at the time, recalls that was when Mike was that was when Mike was told he had vitiligo. Oh no, he said, I am a freak. I distinctly remember him telling me that there was a white girl named Debbie in the doctor's office. A nurse and receptionist who was helping him through the ordeal, always there for him. Dr. Arnold Clint suggested to Michael that if he needed someone to talk to about his medical condition, he should call Debbie anytime, day or night. For a short while, Michael did telephone her daily to ask her medical questions and cry on her shoulder. They were soon good friends. At the time, his brothers thought maybe this would be the beginning of a romance for Michael since all he talked about was Debbie, recalled Ace. Jermaine said, I want to meet this Debbie chick. Mike's got a bad for her. Michael giggled and laughed like a kid with a crush. Whenever Michael came to the office for treatment, Debbie would fuss over him. And reciprocation, whenever Michael released his new CD, he would send her an autographed copy. Debbie would hang his CD picture jackets in the walls of her office until one day Arnold Klein asked her to remove them, saying that such a display of affection for a patient will be misconstrued. Tonya Bond was a good friend of Debbie's, remembered. She would obsess about Michael saying, I'm going to talk to him about opening up more. He's too inhabitant. She cared about him. We'll be up all night long on the phone with him. She said he was best on the telephone. All of his defenses break down when he doesn't have to look at you face to face, she said. She felt that he was sweet and misunderstood and also a rebel, echoing Lisa Marie's sentiment about him. Debbie told Tanya, if people knew him like I knew him, they would not think he was so strange. He's unique, actually. I I like that in a guy. Sometimes they end up together. When I asked Debbie if she was romantically interested in Michael, she became evasive. She ended up marrying someone else for a few years, divorced him in 1990 because she said she felt trapped. But I believed she was interested in Michael. Over the years, Debbie and Michael continued their friendship, often confiding in one another about their unhappy marriages. By 1995, Deborah Jean Rowe was 36, about 10 years older than Lisa Marie Presley, born in 1958 in Spokane, Washington, to Gordon Rowe and Barbara Chilcott. She had been relocated to Los Angeles by the time she was 15. At that time, her parents divorced, and her father left the United States for the Middle East. She graduated from Hollywood High School in 1977 and began working as an assistant to Arnold Klein. In 1982, she married Richard Elman, then a 30-year-old teacher at Hollywood High. They moved into a small apartment in Venice, California, where Elman started a computer consulting business. Their marriage began to crumble in 1988. A year later, they filed for bankruptcy with assets of $40,000 and debt worth twice that much. Debbie was truly an unusual character. When she was just a bit younger, she was a biker chick who enjoyed dressing up in black leather and warring around Los Angeles at breakneck speeds. Mario Pecas, a friend of hers at the time and a fellow biker, recalled she had so many crushes that her powerful 2000cc machine was covered in dents, and she swore like a sailor. Everything she said was peppered with four-letter words. She was like one of the guys. She used to drink beer and tequila, and she has this habit of punching you in what was supposed to be a friendly gesture. After she had a few drinks, her friendly jabs would knock the wind out of you. She never had any money, she was always broke, but one day after a road trip, she said she had to stop by her parents' place. I was it's near Bruce Willis's home in Malibu and makes his house looked like a shack. It's gonna be worth $4 million. Inside the home, Pickus, who is a professional artist, estimated that there might have been $10 million in paintings and sculptures. Debbie explained that her stepfather was a real estate magnate. They seemed to have a warm relationship, but it was clear that Debbie didn't make any money for him. Her apartment, which cost her about $700 a month, was a dark little place. Kind of cheap and depressing, but it was a shrine to Michael Jackson. Every inch of wall space was taken up by posters and photographs of him. Lots of them were signed, To Debbie, Loved Michael. It's fascinating that Michael was able to have someone in his life like Debbie, a person about whom the public was completely unaware. I have been pursued by his fans, mostly because of the way Michael complained about his lack of privacy, that if everyone become a part of his life in any meaningful way, the world would know about it instantly. It would make headlines. However, somehow, Debbie was kept a secret from Michael's fans and the press for more than a decade. When he went into the rehab for the drug problem, Debbie was relieved, says Tony Boyd. She'd been so worried about him never out of touch with him during any of the Jordan Chandler business. He may have been talking to Lisa on the telephone a lot, but he was also speaking to Debbie, though I suspect Lisa did not know anything about that. When he got out of the hospital, Charter, he started dating Lisa, but he never stopped seeing Debbie either, even after he married Lisa. Lisa's friend, Monica Pastel, recalled, Lisa once told me that she heard Michael was interested in a white nurse who worked for his dermatologist. She laughed it off. She thought he was probably trying to make her jealous, playing games. Still, she was interested enough to go to the doctor's office and sneak a look at this generously proportionate blonde, blue eyed nurse named Debbie. After she saw her, she said, I'm not sure Michael will ever be interested in her. She's not his type, like his glimmer. However, I think she's into him. I think they're, I don't know, dating or something. It's crazy. It turned out to be true. While he was with Lisa, Michael was seeing Debbie secretly, if only as a friend. When Lisa found out about it, she thought it odd that she would keep it from her. However, she suspected that he had many secrets, and this was probably the least noteworthy of them. She did some research and realized that Debbie was, as she put it in 2003, a nurse who had a crush on him. Lisa recalled her nursery. She didn't seem concerned about her. One friend recalled one afternoon in passing she said, So, nursery called about 10 times today looking for Michael. I finally had to tell her, please, he'll call you back, okay? Jesus Christ. I said, Lisa, what is this about? She said, Oh, I don't know. She's got bad for him, I guess. I have no idea what her thing is. I have enough trouble trying to figure out Michael. I'm now about to start trying to figure out his friends too. That was her feeling about David Rowe. She didn't think of her as a threat.